All right, everyone, grab some snacks because this situation is getting messy. The View is in full panic mode, and honestly, they have every reason to be. Karoline Leavitt, a young, bold, and sharp conservative, just made a legal move so huge that
she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous administration.
ABC executives are scrambling behind the scenes, trying to do damage control. And here's the crazy part. She didn't even have to appear on The View to do it. After yet another round of nasty, tone-deaf attacks from Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin, Karoline didn't just brush it off. She came back swinging. Hard. Now, the fallout is so intense that there are rumors flying about ABC desperately trying to convince her to back off before this situation spirals even further out of control. But let's be real, this ship has already sailed, and there's no turning back. So what exactly did Karoline say that sent Whoopi into a full-blown meltdown, had Joy Behar visibly shaken, and left even Sunny Hostin, who always has something, to say, completely speechless? Trust me, you won't want to miss this. But before we get into the details, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for more no-nonsense updates. Got it? Good. Let's get into it. This whole mess started when The View thought they could tear down Karoline Leavitt and just walk away without any consequences. Huge mistake.
Into hot water again after they did the very thing they purport to be against, undermining women's success. Joy Behar stunned viewers when she said Donald Trump's press secretary, 27-year-old Karoline Leavitt, only secured her position because of her good looks.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous administration.
The comment was bizarre, especially coming from Joy Behar, who is as woke as they come and positions herself as a champion of feminism. This online commentator said, disgusting Joy Behar of The View accuses Karoline Leavitt of being hired only because Donald Trump thought she was a 10.
In a recent episode, the host took direct shots at her, not because of her views, policies, or work ethic, but simply because she's a young, successful conservative woman. Joy Behar, in her usual smug and dismissive way, suggested that Karoline's success had nothing to do with her intelligence, knowledge, or experience. Nope. According to Joy, the only reason Karoline got where she is today is that, in Trump's eyes, she's a 10. Then Whoopi Goldberg chimed in, never one to let logic stand in the way of a rant, suggesting that Karoline wouldn't even have a job if it weren't for wokeness. And of course, Sunny Hostin just had to make it. About race because that's her go-to move whenever she's losing an argument, but Karoline wasn't about to let them get away with it. Instead of ignoring their comments or issuing a weak response, she came out full force. And not with just a simple comeback, she absolutely dismantled them. In a video that quickly went viral, Karoline called out The View for exactly what it is, a panel of bitter, out-of-touch elitists who claim to support women, but only if those women think exactly like them. And she didn't hold anything back. She singled out Joy Behar as the perfect example of modern hypocrisy, someone who talks about women's empowerment, but is the first to tear down any woman who doesn't fit her political narrative. Karoline flat out called it disgusting. As for Whoopi's claim that Karoline wouldn't have a job without wokeness, Karoline found that laughable and pointed out the irony. The View is literally made up of unqualified hosts who were hired, based on diversity checkboxes rather than merit.
Oh, please, his opponents are saying to this very day the same rhetoric that led to those two attempts. The second attempted on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie, and yes, you will take political like we have seen in two instances against President Trump. Last week, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a... That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day. And I'm so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it. And that's why today President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2016, because people don't trust the media.
But this isn't just some online drama. Karoline's takedown has rocked ABC to its core, and now they're scrambling to clean up the mess. But the truth is, it's already too late. The damage is done, and the backlash is only growing. And let's talk about Sunny Hostin for a second. She wants to talk about privilege? Seriously? That's rich coming from someone who sits on a national TV show making millions while pretending to be the voice of the oppressed. Then, Karoline dropped the bombshell that sent shockwaves through the media. She said, "The View doesn't want strong women. They want women who follow orders. I refuse to play their game." Boom! Within minutes, her video exploded all over social media. They never expected this. They thought they could trash Karoline, move on, and pretend like nothing.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because Black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women.
No.
See, this is not Black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that this was a person's world.
This commentator said, Whoopi is mansplaining the press secretary job to Karoline Leavitt. Hilarious.
Happened. Instead, they gave her the biggest public relations victory of her entire career. Now, ABC executives are in full crisis mode. According to leaked reports, producers are absolutely furious that this has turned into a full-blown PR disaster. There are even rumors that some executives are beginning to question whether Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg are becoming more of a liability than an asset to the show. And let's not forget the sponsors. They're watching this situation closely, and some are reportedly starting to back away. Nobody wants to be associated with a show that's being exposed as toxic, hypocritical, and completely out of touch with reality. Behind the scenes, ABC is absolutely desperate. There are whispers that they're trying to negotiate with Karoline, practically begging her to drop any legal action before this situation gets even uglier. And the worst part for The View, even their own audience is turning on them. One viral comment summed it up perfectly. The View preaches empowerment, but attacks any woman who doesn't fit their agenda. Karoline Leavitt just proved they're frauds. And just when you think this situation couldn't get any worse, it does. At this point, it's crystal clear. The View has been playing with fire for years. But this time, they might have finally burned themselves beyond repair. The backlash isn't just big, it's out of control. The hypocrisy is undeniable. And now ABC has to make a tough decision: clean house or cancel the show entirely. Because here's the thing, The View has always thrived on controversy. They know that stirring up drama brings in ratings, but there's a fine line between being controversial and completely alienating your audience. And when the backlash is bigger than the ratings boost, that's when you know it's game over. Right now, they're barely holding on. Could this be the end of The View? What do you think? Did The View finally push things too far? Is Karoline Leavitt's legal move the wake-up call the media needed? And will ABC actually pull the plug on the show after this disaster?